Hey, what about on Footy Classified last night? Matthew Lloyd spoke about the Essendon
External review.
external review being done by Ernst. Is it Ernst & Young?
Yes.
And he said that he's spoken to players, and we know he would, who have been interviewed and sat down. And he said that they're wrapped because it's been so brutal. Is that what you're hearing?
No, I'm not hearing anything. I haven't heard anything from anybody that has been interviewed. So, well, that's what they promised, didn't they? A rigorous look at the club from independent people and analysing exactly what's taken place there in that the last sort of period of time and getting to the bottom of it. So that's what they promised and that's what they're delivering. And I guess the next part about that is what do they do and what do they put in place going forward that's going to make sure that they are better?
Are you worried as an let's just say put your supporters cap on now. Are you worried about the process of trying to find their coach?
I'm worried. No, not worried. I guess there are a couple of people that have ruled themselves out. Cameron's ruled himself out, and obviously Ross Lyons ruled himself out. And then I don't know, where does this conversation come from? I asked somebody this yesterday. Why does Ken Hinckley's name keep surfacing as somebody that Essendon will approach at some stage when he's clearly knocked it on the head in what he's said publicly about staying at Port Adelaide? Where does that come from?
Because clubs back themselves in to change people's minds, and history says that can happen. History tells you that we've been told constantly over the journey, oh, no, he won't go, and he's gone. So that won't stop them from asking the question. The fact that he's got 1 year to go, is it 1 year to go on a contract at Port Adelaide? Now, he may very well turn around and say, no, I told you I'm not going and I'm not, but that won't stop them asking. I would say this about if you are concerned, and I listened to some stuff over the weekend about, Ross Lyons said no and Cameron's out and there's Craig McRae is the greatest example of why you shouldn't worry right now.
You shouldn't worry about finding a coach.
Yeah.
Craig, you reckon there's another Craig McRae out there? There could be.
Well, of course, this is my point, right? So if you're sitting there belting your head against the wall because you're an Essendon and say, oh, Ross Lyons said no to us and I've got to get Chris Scott or Brad Scott or I've got to get this. Yeah, well, that's a good, and I understand the attitude. But what about Craig McRae? Has there been an impact on a competition?
No.
Or a team like he has had in his first year of coaching? Who at this time, like halfway through last year, who was saying, oh, but Nathan Buckley's gone. Oh, geez, they're going to have to get experience. And then no, you don't. You get Craig McRae and you'll be in a prelim. Who was saying that?
Nobody was saying that.
No one.
Is it just Craig McRae, though, or do you look at he's got great support staff as well, hasn't he?
Magnificent.
Like Bolton is there, Lepich is there. Yeah. So, you got two guys that have had great senior coaching experience as well.
Well, they're around too.
And they've seen the game from all sides.
Essendon can do that. There's coaches around that are no longer coaching and would be available to put a team around a young coach.
No, I agree with you. I'm not worried about that. They'll find, going through this process with the people that they've assigned to look for the coach, they'll end up with a great candidate. I'm sure they will. But there are a couple of people that have ruled themselves out. That's the point that I'm making.